I studied English abroad for 6 months, but after I came back to Korea again, and then I feel, oh my God, I'm losing my speaking English again. So I was worried about that because I don't have any foreigner friends in Korea as well. So how can I speak English?
But that's not correct. You already met.
Yeah. So I was worried. Yeah. So how can I meet foreigners in Korea, and then how can I speak English continuously? Like, I wondered it.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, or
you can go first?
Okay, so I think there's definitely there's the meetup, and there's a lot of language exchanges. There's a lot of opportunity to learn English in Korea. Also, though, I think because the meetups can kind of, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I think a better way too is to maybe try and join a group or join a club or get involved. I know that I took Korean lessons at Seoul Global Center, and I met many Koreans there, and we still keep in contact, and we do fun events together. It was a great experience. So maybe like help it, getting involved in like a rugby team, or so there's a big rugby team in Ilsan. So yeah, doing things like that, or like in your interests, and there will be foreigners there, and that's a great way to connect with someone and to keep learning English.
I agree. That would be the same way I would approach it if I were you. Just trying to see like what foreigners do here, which oftentimes it's making sports teams or clubs or activity groups, and there's a lot of like foreigner community groups on Facebook or different social media that go ahead and join. Like nobody would reject you from it, and that would be a good opportunity for you to see like where people are going, where people are meeting, and just meeting foreigners and speaking to them. And I think that's going to definitely help keep your language ability up. But even beyond that, like if you don't have time, just keep consuming English media. Like listen to music, watch movies often. Like if you're going to go to an animated movie, sometimes it'll be in Korean, sometimes it'll be in English. Just go watch the English one, and it's a good way to kind of keep English as a constant in your life. And because if you don't have it, if you're only exposed to it maybe once a week or so, you lose it so quickly. And so I think it's really important to make sure you at least have daily or every other day exposure.
Yeah, so I want to add to that. I think Meetup is a great application that you can use in order to meet foreigners, because there's a lot of foreigners, meeting through, of course, Facebook and Meetup.com. But I don't recommend language exchange Meetup, because based on my observation, that if you end up going to language Meetup, first of all, there's a lot of Koreans, more than foreigners, more than expats. So expat population is going to be like 20%, maybe like a 4-to-1, like 5-to-1. And so attention is all about like expats, right? So basically they don't give out that much attention to you. On top of that, I mean, I don't want to generalize that every expat's doing that, but there are some expats who are only interested in kind of like a dating, right?
Yes,
so
no, I
basically,
agree.
and you gotta also watch out as a female getting involved in the kind of like a meetup. So as related to your answer to our question is that the sports, right? Dance or something that is not about like a language, like a language exchange, more about like a sports or dance or hobby. I think that's a better way to approach a expat. So if you go to meetup.com or Facebook group, and there's a lot of groups, not only language exchange club, right? So don't only think about that, but think about something outside of the box. Okay, what do they do? Where do they go? And how much they're willing to help, right? Things like that. There's a lot of volunteer groups that you can do together with the expats. So that's my answer to your question, actually. Yeah.
I think I have some advice that I usually tell my friends in terms of when they're learning English. Like, English is an international language, and we are used to hearing every single possible dialect that there could be of English. Like, people all over the world speak English, and everyone speaks it so differently. So, like, you have no need to be shy, because we understand English spoken in so many different forms. Maybe to like Koreans hearing it, they would think they're even different languages, but to us, we understand it all because we're so used to, like from international movies or like especially in the US, just all the international people there, we're so used to hearing so many different forms of English. And so never be afraid, because you could not have any proper grammar and just throw words out, and we're going to be able to put it together because we're very used to doing that. Like we're very comfortable with it. Like in Korea, it's a little bit different. Koreans aren't used to a lot of international speaking Korean, so they kind of aren't used to hearing it mispronounced or in different ways. But it's not like that for English at all. We're totally able to comprehend. Like even if it's the most broken sentence, we'll probably be able to get what you're saying.
Even if I just say the word.
Yeah, even if you just say the word, you don't even have to conjugate it. We'll probably be able to like, oh, okay, like I understand because that's
Water.
yeah. Okay.
Oh,
And then we ask, do you want water? Do you have water? Or
Okay. Yeah.
So Becca, do you want to add to that maybe? I think one of the biggest obstacles that Koreans face when it comes to learning new language, I mean most likely English is the most popular language that Koreans are learning. Of course Chinese is catching up, but long way to go. I believe English is strong language here in South Korea. And they compare themselves to other people who speak better than you, and then they feel so shy. Even like this is something that happens in the community of even teachers, English teachers, Korean English teachers who are they're teachers, right? So they feel like they have English really well, right? So when they find out someone who speaks English better than you, and then they feel like okay, I gotta shut up because they find out that my mistakes, something that I'm not good at, right? Then they suddenly back off, and then they start talking about. You know what I'm saying? I think this comparison culture is something that you gotta overcome, right? It's you. Think about you, right? Don't think about other people. Don't be so self-conscious. That's what I can say.
Yeah. No, I agree. I've noticed Koreans are like very hesitant to speak in English sometimes just because they're so shy. They're like, oh, my English isn't good enough. But generally, what Grace was saying, I can always understand what Koreans are saying. And I know Alice was feeling a little bit shy coming out and speaking in English. Your English is very good, and your accent is also really, like you have a Western accent too. So I was actually really surprised to hear from Luke when he said she's really shy. Like, yeah, you definitely try not to be so competitive, and it's the same for us too. Sometimes I'm a little shy to speak Korean, and I need to get over that. So.